Greetings, everyone. Now, we've had this discussion before, but things have reached fever pitch. Things have begun to spiral out of control in the South African land redistribution plan. As I've said before, I've seen many of the bloggers from South Africa. I've listened to their presentations and heard some very senseless hate speech being used by the Boers. And if you read the comment section, it gives you a pretty fair picture of what the situation is like on the ground and what white South Africans think about black Africans in their own country. These people call us all sorts of names that are derogatory, very degrading, and they've also made comments which would suggest that they would be interested in waging a violent struggle against the South African rule of law and the South African political mandate as outlined by President Ramaphosa of South Africa, and Julius Malema. Now, to put right where right is, Julius Malema was the strongest proponent of expropriation. He made it a core element in his political platform, and that has worked to the favor of all Africans because it has now become, I wouldn't say it's political football, but it is one of the key election points that any candidate would have to either support or deny while proposing themselves as a candidate for opposition. So I am very inspired by the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters, and very inspired by the leadership of the Julius Malemas of the world, by the Floyd Shivambos of the world. All right? And it's surprising that I believe it was about 3 days ago, I saw a news report in which the Boers were actually encouraging people to take up arms, to kill black Africans who would wish to settle on land that is mostly unused, land that is held in title by foreigners who have no desire for the peaceful and unified advancement of South Africa. They are still trying to hold on with a white knuckle grip to the former colonial regime, the former colonial order of the day. And they're actually calling for people to take up arms. So if a black farmer, having heard that the land distribution is underway, if a black farmer then decides to stake claim ahead of time and settle on this land, build a home, build a structure, a way of sort of reserving a space on the land ahead of time, white farmers are now encouraging their countrymen to actually assault, murder, attack black Africans who would wish to do this. All right. Now, if they want a way out of Africa, I think that's the fastest way to do it right there. If they want to leave Africa, saying things like that will definitely begin the process of your exodus. Because if you ever, any of you, ever decide to attack Africans, then all of the empathy and sympathy that has been extended towards the white farmers will immediately dissipate. All of the concerns for diplomacy and humility will be thrown out the window, because this incitement of violence, this unprovoked incitement of violence, is one of the most senseless developments I can think of. To actually think that a person who would invade of property, actually degrade, humiliate, assassinate, stifle an entire population of indigenous people. For people to do this and actually think that they have the right to bear arms to further this insanity, because you're out of place entirely. You have no place on the land of Africa. Our people were living there peacefully until your unfortunate entrance into the situation. Our people deserve to be able to chart their own course, to decide what is best for their own conditions. And if we decide that Africans are landless, that Africans deserve to be owners in their own land, to have a title deed that they can call their own, then nothing in your vain imagination, nothing in your devices can ever stop this process. Nothing in your devices and your divisive mentality could ever distort what was meant to happen. Our people deserve to be owners in their own country, and anyone who decides to bear arms against Africans will meet with a most certain demise. Our people have had enough of the treachery. Our people have had enough of this mindless, lame game that white South Africans have been playing. You can't turn around and blame the oppressed for their conditions, knowing full well that the conditions were instituted and created by a foreign, invasive, abusive organization of people known as the Boers. And so I would just like to comment on this. Leave me a like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think. Do you think the Boers have a right to incite violence and actually encourage white South Africans to bear arms? And what do you think the government of South Africa should do if there was ever a domestic terrorism campaign initiated by the white citizens? One love.